Hey everyone, welcome back to JavaMentor.net, and in today's video, let's learn more about inheritance and let's learn more about polymorphism. Those two concepts are very important in every object-oriented programming language, like Java. Let's dive into it. For the beginning, let's create one class person. This is probably the most known example how people explain inheritance, and it's a good example, that's why we are using it. Okay, so person can have first name and can have last name, right? Let's say that those are the only two attributes that person has. There are different type of persons. Of course, when you say different type of persons, okay, they are tall, short, there are men's, humans, and so on, but you can describe all of those differences through the person attributes. For example, tall and short, well, every person can have one attribute that it's saying height, right? And you covered all persons. But some attributes are specific for some persons. For example, there is a student, and student person has a student ID, which university gives him, right? And student ID is a specific for students. Pensioners doesn't have a student ID. They have pensioner ID probably. And employees, they have employee ID. Of course, you can say something like maybe string specific ID, and then for the student you can in this specific ID place student ID, for the pensioners place pension ID, and so on. But this is a hacky way, and it's not obvious. Like what the heck is specific ID? Not to mention that maybe employees, they doesn't have that specific ID. There is no employee ID. Only pensioners and students have those. Also, some methods can go inside student class and not inside pensioner class, and so on and so on. But everything that person has, student has also. So student has first name, it has last name, it has height, and so on and so on. So we want some way to create a student class that will have all fields, so all attributes of the person, and it can have all methods of the person, and also we can write specific things for that student class. And that's what inheritance is about. So let's create new class student, and we will say student extends person. So now this is inheritance. Student is extending from person. This extends mean that student now has all fields and all methods of the person. So if we go here in main class and we go student s equal new student, and if we try s dot, you can see we can say s dot first name equals spasoje. So we assigned first name attribute to the student object. First name that student extends from person. So we don't have attribute first name inside the student, right? The same is true for the methods. Let's create some dummy method here. Dummy method, just to try it. Let's say returns 0. Okay, so here we can say s.dummy method, right? We can call methods of the person on the student object, right? So student is a person, and vice versa is not true. person is not a student. Be careful of that. So let me just create one more class, and here we can add, for example, string student ID, right? Student ID. And now, of course, we can access that field, student ID equals something, but if we create class person P equals new person, obviously we won't be able to access this student ID because student ID is specific for the student. Okay, let's create another class, pensioner, and pensioner also extends from person. Pensioners are humans. So, and let's add two more fields. Let's say that pensioner has some type of his pension, which can be gold and premium, and it has pension amount, right? Cool, we added two attributes to the pensioner, and now pensioner P equals new pensioner. You can see P, it has dummy method from the person, and we can say pension amount equals something. And this pension amount needs to be int, right? Because it's number. Okay. Now, why am I telling you that student is a person and person is not a student? Because you can do this. On the left side of the assignment operator, you can say person. Let me comment this for a second to explain the things. So, in this variable, person, you can add either object of type person or any object of the class that extends person. So you can add students, you can add pensioners, right? Because student is a person, you can add object of type student here. But you cannot do vice versa. Student equals new person. That's not gonna work because person can be a pensioner, right? And you cannot assign pensioner to student. Pensioner and student are not related. They have a common parent class, but they're not directly related. So remember that. That is very important. Just a quick update regarding this assigning of object of data student to the variable of type person. This will be explained in much more detail in two videos which are called references in Java and casting in Java. Don't worry too much about that, let's go back to the code. So, of course, we can say here person as well. Now, as you saw when we moved from the student to the person, this is not available anymore because not every person has student ID, right? And that's why you cannot access this one. This particular field. So if you want to access that one, you move to the student and you move to the pensioner here. Let's move on to the polymorphism. Okay, for the beginning, let's create one method inside person, one method inside student and one method inside pensioner that will describe those kind of people. Okay, I will write one method here which will return some text, which is a description of the student. Describe me, and it will tell you I'm a student and my name is, and then first name concatenation with plus sign, and I don't like to wake up early. student bastards. They don't like to get up early. My student ID is, and then student ID. Okay. This will be describing of the student. Let's do the same for the pensioner. I'm a pensioner and my name is the same, and I like to wake up early. My pensioner amount is pensioner amount. Okay, cool. Now we have methods that describe student and pensioner. Let's try to use those methods here. So if you go here, pensioner, and you say p.describe_me, and if you put that inside system out println, so it's printed into the console, that should work. And of course we should assign pensioner some name. Pensioner first name equals John. Oops, I clicked on debug. We will learn more about that very soon. But for now, let's run. And here it is. I'm a pensioner and my name is John and I like to wake up early. My pension amount is blah, blah, blah. But what happens if we change this data type of the variable to person? That's fine, right? P equals new pensioner. Well, okay, we need to pass first name and pension amount through the constructor, because this way it's impossible, because not every person has pension amount. Let's first fix that. John, and we will create one constructor here. Person sorry, not person, pensioner. We will say this dot first name equal to first name, right? We learned about this in the previous tutorial. And pension amount equals to pension amount, right? Awesome. Move back. Okay, that works. But now the problem is, in person class, there is no describe me method. That's why this is red. This is not compiling. Okay, let's create a method describe me in person. And of course we said that this needs to be string. And let's say for the person object, it will just say I'm a person and my name is first name. Awesome. That will be the description of the person. Let's start our program. And we have some problem. It doesn't compile. And the problem is that we made this public, and we will explain this in the next few videos when we learn about packages. For now, just remove public in the method inside the person class. Awesome. Run. And this is printing I'm a pensioner, blah, blah, blah. So it's printing pensioner method. Weird, because, I mean, it's at least weird for me. Like, if you have person on the left side and pensioner on the right, why it's printing a pensioner? Why it doesn't print a person? Well, that's because we have the exact same method in the person and inside the pensioner. And since the pensioner is more specific, so you want to specify a more specific behavior inside the pensioner class. That's why the rule in the Java is that if you have the same method inside one class and its parent class, you will do what's inside the subclass, not in the parent class. So remember that. But the interesting thing here is that if you say pensioner p equals new pensioner and you say p.describe me, it will print what's inside describe me of the pensioner class. But if we assign the student object here with person p equals new student, and we try to run this, it will tell you I'm a student and my name is null. This is the default value when we specified nothing, because we didn't specified name for this student, as you can see. So the thing is, you don't know what will this describe me method do on the object P before it's done. If you look just this part of the code, of course, now you see that we assigned a student to the person, so you know it will go with student method. But you can have some method like this, let's say dummy method. You can have person P, and then let's say that that method returns 0. System out println p dot describe me. Look at this method. You can't figure out what will be the result of this. It might be pensioner, it might be a student. And that's exactly what polymorphism is. Behavior of the method is decided by the object type. And the same parameter or variable can have multiple types. So this person can be a student or a pensioner or any other student type. In the next video, let's learn more about packages, and then when we understand packages, we will understand what's public keyword all about. See you in the next video.